Welcome back to Lucky Crit. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different than usual. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you might remember that I always use this blue DX Racer chair. It's been about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years at this point since I've had this chair. I actually did an unboxing and review of this chair a long time ago. It's so old at this point that most of you guys probably never saw that video. However, for today's episode, the kind folks over at Ewin Racing decided to send me their version of the racing chair and see how it stacks up against the DX Racer and see how I like it. So let's get started. Got some nice gloves. See you in a week. So it's actually been about 2.5 weeks since I first got the chair. Life happened and I got sick and things got delayed, but I think honestly that's probably a really good thing because it's given me more time to experience the chair and really collect my thoughts and make things a little bit more concise as far as with this review. The kind folks over at Ewin were also really cool about things, and they even told me that I could compare it to my previous DX Racer chair, so I will be doing that here today. While this video isn't sponsored per se by Ewin Racing, they did send me this chair for free, and I do get to keep it after I do this review, so I did want to let you know that. However, it's not going to affect my overall opinion on this chair, and I wouldn't let things like that happen anyway because I do want to be completely honest with you guys. If I do videos like that on this channel and end up recommending stuff to you guys, I really do want you to know that I am recommending it because I think it is a good product or service, or I really do enjoy it and appreciate it myself. But ultimately, I will be ending up recommending this gaming chair to you guys, and here's why. The pros. First off, arguably one of the most important aspects of this product, the price tag. These chairs in general are not cheap. Like I said in my original review of my first DX Racer chair, they are an investment in yourself. If you're going to be spending a lot of time on the computer or at your desk, you might want to do it a bit more comfortably than with a cheapo chair from whatever big box store you live by. And let's face it, most of us will probably be spending a lot of time sitting down, so in my mind, it's a worthy investment. Clocking in at a base price of $479, the Ewin Racing's Flash XL series is comparable to DX Racer's King series, which comes in at about $469, though it seems the XL series price has been reduced on the site by 6.2%, and this does seem rather permanent as it's been this way for a while, so it's now coming in at $449, which is $20 cheaper than its DX Racer competitor. There's also a way to get it even cheaper than that though, which I'll share with you later on in this video, but for now I'll just be considering this chair at its base price. So it's definitely at a very similar price point to the King series line of DX Racer chairs. As such, I'd expect the quality to be on par with the King series, if not even better, considering the original price point was a bit higher. The Flash XL series is Ewin's biggest and baddest chair line, and let me tell you, it's definitely got some bite to its bark. I am thoroughly impressed with the build quality, look, and feel of this chair, even though I've never had many complaints with my original DX Racer, but there's a lot of things here that Ewin's Flash XL series does even better and improves upon, and that's exactly what I was hoping to see. It feels high quality and top notch, and you can tell that Ewin has paid very close attention to detail all over these chairs. So DX Racer definitely has some amazing competition here. They may no longer be the king of this gaming chair scene. So not only have they delivered quality on par with or even better than their competitors at this lower price point, but the chair is also a bit thicker and a bit more heavily padded, which lends to it being a more comfortable experience overall. Now, I've been using this DX Racer chair for over a year and a half at this point, so it could just be worn in a bit more and a bit deflated from daily use, but you can really see just how different the thickness of the seat is if we take a look at them side by side. The eWin Racing chair is just hands down more cushy and more comfortable to sit in. I also appreciate that the lumbar pillow is a lot bigger and better shaped, at least in my opinion, as my issue with the DX Racer chair that I have has always been that it sort of tends to get smushed and always sags down to the bottom. It's easily adjustable, but it's sort of a constant struggle. With the eWin Racing chair though, this lumbar cushion conforms to your body much better, and because of its new shape and size, it really does tend to stay where you want it to a lot better. The suspension system, while similar to DX Racers, is also a lot more effective here at keeping the lumbar cushion in place, so that's certainly a plus. You'll notice that even at its lowest setting, the eWin Racing chair is still significantly higher up than the DX Racer, so if you happen to have a rather low desk, then I suggest that you keep this in mind. The measurement at its lowest setting from the foot of the chair up to about the top of your leg while sitting is about 24 inches. Of course, this could be a bit different if you happen to be a bit bigger or smaller than me, but there's a good jumping off point, and I did end up including a little bit of extra space there in the measurement, just for good measure. I've also noticed that it does indeed seem to roll around a lot more easily than the DX Racer, so that for me is a plus when it comes to mobility and being able to move it around. The armrests retain all the exact functions that the DX Racer chairs have. In fact, they're quite literally the same, and the chair also maintains the same standard functions, like being adjustable and being able to lay back exceedingly far, up to approximately 135 degrees, and also rock back and forth, or be locked in place. Visually, it's downright gorgeous and has a really good feel to it that I like. The surface is nice and soft, with a good texture. The cons. Pillow placement is fine, but unfortunately once again due to my height, I'm still unable to have the pillow in its nice default location. I've had to once more rest the band around the upper part of the chair, which is totally doable by the way, but I do think it does look better to have it the way that it was originally intended, and at 6'2", it seems I'm still simply a little too tall for that. The one minor area that is quite a bit different than the DX Racer chair would happen to be the lower portion. The chair legs are not as decked out and decorated as DX Racers, so while it's a bit worse aesthetically down there, I think for me personally, I was always worried about resting my feet on the DX Racer chair's legs, as I didn't want to scratch them all up since it's got the nice blue painted pieces. However, here I'm a bit more relaxed about it in general, as it's a more simplistic design without the added design plates. I do think that the lower portion of the DX Racer looks a bit slicker and is more uniform than eWin Racing's rather plain black bottom, but perhaps it's also borderline over-design and it's certainly not needed at all. The lower back does still have that warping from where the straps are pressing into the chair, though once again this is much more subdued on the eWin Racing chair, whereas it's quite a bit worse on the DX Racer, so that's still sort of another win. I also do want to put in a little note here as kind of a mini con, that the suspension system that's kind of holding up the lumbar cushion in place can be a little annoying at first. You can kind of feel it, potentially if you're wearing a light t-shirt or something while sitting in your chair, you might feel it up against your back as you're sitting back in the chair. That could be annoying at first, but I could see how that over time would not be a huge deal. It's probably just something that you'll get used to. And that's going to wrap up the cons. However, I do think it's also worth noting that most people seem to assume that when they get chairs like this, they'll just sit in it and it's going to be a heavenly experience from the very beginning. It's going to be like sitting on a cloud, and for me personally, that's never really been the case. And that doesn't mean that these chairs aren't good or anything, it's just that it will take a bit of an adjustment period for you to get used to it, because odds are you're still sitting in that same chair that you bought from Walmart like 7 years ago for $100, and we've developed a slight case of scoliosis, and so at that point, it does take a bit of an adjustment period for you to get used to this new way of sitting, so just something to keep in mind. Overall, I'm very impressed with it and happy that I got the chance to work with them, as I think this chair is definitely going to become my daily driver for the next while. So if you could use a bit of a chair upgrade and you are interested in snagging your own eWin Racing chair, be sure to check out the link in the video description below. They've also included an awesome code for you guys, which will give you a bit of a discount, so use code LUCKY at checkout for 10% off. Full disclosure, if you do end up purchasing a chair with that link in the video description, I will get a little bit of a commission from it, so you will also be helping to support the channel as well. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little review, and I also hope that if you do end up getting a chair like this, that you really love it as well. If you did like this video, be sure to slash that thumbs up down below, and also leave me a comment and let me know what chair you guys use as your daily driver that you're always sitting in from day to day, because I'm really curious to hear about that, so be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter for any news and updates, and as always, a big shout out to all of our amazing patrons who help to support the channel and keep it going. You guys rock, and I will see you all next time.